Hey guys, welcome back to a new ended video. In the previous video, I showed you how to authenticate using email and password with Firebase. However, in this video, I'll demonstrate to you Google Authentication, which is also using Firebase. Before we start our actual coding, we need to add Google Auth dependency. And I already assume that you have already connected your project with Firebase. After that, we can start our actual coding. So as usual, we need to start our project with our repository. We need to define a function here, which is Google sign-in, and this will take a parameter of credentials of auth credentials, and the return type will be flow of resource of auth result. And now we need to implement this function inside our auth repository implementation. Just go to auth repository implementation and press Ctrl I, then press enter. Here everything is same as I did in the previous video. We just need to return a flow block here and then emit our loading state. And then we need to define sign in with credential function here. So I'll do that now from our Firebase auth dot sign in with credentials. And this takes an argument of credentials. Here we will pass our argument and then call await. After that, we hope we get a success message to emit our success state here and pass our result here. Also, we would like to catch some exception here. Just emit resource of error here and pass it dot message dot toString. We are done with our repository, and now we need to call this function inside our ViewModel. Let's go to our ViewModel now. Inside our ViewModel, we need to create two states. Equal to mutable state of Google sign-in state. This Google sign-in state is a data class which I have already created, and now we need to create a public state here. Now we can start collecting all of our state from inside of our ViewModel that we have just defined inside this auth repository implementation. Let's just define a simple function here, and we need a parameter of auth credentials. Let's just launch a ViewModel scope here and then call our repository dot Google sign-in, and you see this takes an argument here. We need to press the credentials here and then collect all of our state here. Then we collect all of our state and assign it to the UI state. That means as soon as we enter a specific state, we take some action based on that state. Let's also do that now. So what we are doing here is that we are getting our result and assigning it to our UI state. Now it's time to implement this inside our UI, but before that we need to do something more. First, we need to get our server client ID and then our SHA-1 key. To get your server client ID, go to project and switch to project here. From here, go to Google Service JSON, and here you will see your server client ID, but for security reason I'm not going to show you my client ID, but you just need to copy this client ID and switch back to Android. It's better if you create a constant file for this. Let's do that. Now we can use this server client ID whenever we need this. Also, we need to get our SHA-1 key. To get your SHA-1 key, go to Gradle, click on this icon here, and simply type signing report. just this, and then press enter. It will generate your SHA-1 key. Copy your SHA-1 key, and we need this SHA-1 key to paste inside our Firebase. Before we use our SHA-1 key, we need to add our provider Google here so that we can use Google Authentication. To add new provider, click on add new, and from here choose Google. Then click on this pen icon and click on project setting. From here we can use our SHA-1 key. Scroll all the way down and click on add fingerprint. Here you paste your SHA-1 key and click on save. Our Firebase project is ready to use now. Let's get back into the Ender Studio again. Go to sign in screen. From here, scroll down to your Google icon button. Now we will create an option here to request our user email, ID token, and all the information that you need. Google sign in option dot builder. Inside this builder, say Google sign in options dot default sign in. Then you can see we can request our user email and also request ID token. Inside this ID token, we need to paste our server client ID that we got. Let's just say server here. If you want, you can also request ID and also request profile of the user, but for the simplicity of this video, I'm not going to show you here. Let's say build, create another variable of Google sign in client equal to Google sign in dot get client. Inside this, we need to pass a context here, so our compose context. But that's not everything. We need to create a launcher here to get our user account. I will paste the launcher here and then explain it to you. Here we are using a remember launcher activity for result. That's because we are inside our compose activity, and here we are getting our user account from the sign in intent. We are using this account inside our result to get the result from our account, and this result will be used inside our credentials so that we can get the result and our ID token. And then finally we call our ViewModel and pass the credential inside this Google sign-in. As we are inside a try catch block, we can also catch exception here. Let's scroll down to our Google icon now and call our launcher here, launcher.launch. Inside this we are going to call our Google sign-in client dot sign-in intent. We also need to show something inside our UI whenever our state is changing. Create a variable Google sign-in state and call our state from our ViewModel dot value. Let's deal with our success state first. This state just tells us that if our state is success, we are going to show a toast message of sign in is success. We can also handle our error state here in the same way, but I will leave that to you. I also want to show a loading state if our state is loading. Here I am just creating a row and arrange it to center. Also I'm creating a if statement. If our Google sign-in state loading is true, then we just want to show a circular progress indicator. Now we can run our app. Our app is now successfully running. Now we can click on this Google icon and a pop-up window should open here. From here I'll choose one of my account. Let's choose this one, and we can see that sign in is success. Let's take a look inside our Firebase also. Just refresh this one, and we can see also got another Gmail ID here with the provider of Google here. So that's all for this video. You can also let me know in the comment section what kind of tutorial you want to see next on my YouTube channel.